In August 2007, film guru Rick Menello moved back to Brooklyn. With nowhere else to go, he returned to the home of his childhood friend, fellow film buff Mel Neuhaus. Can two former NYU film students talk about movies without driving each other crazy?
All right, gather round, ye ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you a scary story. Once upon a time, there was a mysterious and strange castle in an equally mysterious, strange, and far-off land called Hollywood.
What kind of castle was it? Was it a place?
No, it wasn't a place. It was a person. It was William Castle.
Born William Schloss, which is German for?
Castle. Now, Castle was this feisty, carny-style showman with this bizarre penchant for the unusual, which he instilled in all of his films, and it endeared him to generations of horror film fans. The thing about him was, he never thought he was really that good at what he did, and he was. And when he was making these B movies at Columbia, his idol, not surprisingly Alfred Hitchcock, was someone he just aspired to emulate. His dream was to make a movie one day that would be half as good as something Hitchcock made. There he also befriended Orson Welles, and
he brought him The Lady from Shanghai as a property. He was hoping to collaborate with Welles, and Welles basically ripped him off and wrote the script and made the film and gave him associate producer credit, which wasn't such a bad deal. And Castle was at Columbia then making B movies, but he wanted to do something more.
And when his Columbia picture contract ran out in the mid-50s, he said, "That's it. I'm gonna go independent. I'm gonna try to do something on my own." He got the rights to this really so-so mystery. He added a few horror trappings. He changed the title to Macabre. And he said, okay, now I have to come up with something to get people in. Why would anyone want to see this movie? And he said, let me think about it. And he came up with this idea to insure patrons should they die of fright during a performance.
The film.
And it worked. People lined up around the block. I mean, you know, it went through the roof, and he was on his way. And then, of course,
after that, every film had to have a gimmick.
And the funny thing is, aside from having to top himself, he sold them as film processes like CinemaScope or something.
3D.
Yeah.
And this process, which he created,
for instance, Illusiono.
Listen to William Castle, whom the Saturday Evening Post calls the master of movie horror.
Do you believe in ghosts? I do. And you will too. When you come to this theater and see my picture, 13 Ghosts. No more dictation today. When you see 13 ghosts, you'll be given a supernatural viewer like this, which will enable you to penetrate for the first time into the spirit world. It will let you see all 13 of our weird, wonderful, and wildly assorted ghosts.
They see 13 ghosts materializing in ectoplasmic color through the magic of Illusiono, the ghost viewer. The evil ghost in the bedroom, fighting to take possession of this beautiful girl. You'll feel all the thrills and chills of seeing one ghost multiplied by the magic number 13.
So apparently you put on this ghost viewer and you see such horrifying sights as a pinwheel on fire and a bunch of smoke.
And Margaret Hamilton.
Yeah, and Margaret Hamilton, which is actually pretty scary. So basically, these glasses had worked with filters, and the ghost would be a certain color, and if you put the glasses on
one way, you would see nothing.
You would see nothing.
And if you flipped it over, and had another color,
you would see a flaming pinwheel or some smoke.
Yeah, and
so which scared a lot of people, I think.
But there were other processes like
Emergo,
I think.
You think?
I don't know. Let's
see Emergo.
Emergo?
Emergo. It's a new process, and what actually happens, Ralph, is the ghosts and the skeletons leave the screen, and all the objects leave the screen and wander throughout the audience, go up to the balcony, roam around, meet the public, and go back into the screen.
You'd be watching the movie, and they send a little skeleton, paper or plastic, sometimes glowing, on a string, and they'd fly it over the audience. And it kind of looked like this.
No, actually, that's too good.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is Emergo.
There you go.
There you go, Emergo.